We've all been there. You see the commercial? A burger so perfect it could model for Calvin Klein. The bun is golden, the lettuce is crisp, the cheese melts in 4K slow motion like it's auditioning for a romance movie. Then you order it in real life. And what you get looks like it fell asleep under a heat lamp for 3 days. The fries are soggy, the lettuce is pale, and the bun is, let's be honest, clinically depressed. So why does the food in ads look so much better than the food we actually get? Is it just good lighting? Fancy cameras? Or is the fast food industry basically catfishing us with cheeseburgers? Spoiler, it's not just marketing, it's movie magic, because those perfect shots aren't made by chefs. They're made by food stylists, literal artists whose job is to make food look amazing, even if it's not edible anymore. Today, we're biting into the real reason behind food's biggest illusion. From gluey cereal milk to fake grill marks to your brain's weird love for perfection. So grab a snack, preferably one that actually exists, and hit subscribe, because this story's about to get messy, in glorious high definition. Before food became a billion-dollar ad fantasy, it was just food. Early food photography, we're talking the 1950s, was surprisingly honest. A roast looked like a roast. A pie looked like something your grandma actually made. But as TV commercials took over, brands realized something brutal. Real food doesn't photograph well. It melts, wilts, slides, drips, and dies faster than your phone battery on 1%. So, advertising agencies invented a new job: the food stylist. Their mission? Make real food look better than real life, no matter what it takes. By the 1970s, food photography wasn't about cooking. It was about engineering. Ice cream wasn't ice cream anymore. It was colored mashed potatoes that wouldn't melt under studio lights. Milk in cereal bowls, usually white glue. That juicy steak in the magazine, raw meat brushed with shoe polish and seared with a blowtorch for those grill marks. These weren't chefs. They were special effects artists. They used tweezers instead of tongs, spray bottles instead of seasoning, and toothpicks like surgical instruments. Every sesame seed on that burger? Placed there by hand. And when the perfect shot was ready, they used smoke machines, fake steam, and lighting rigs worthy of a Marvel movie. Because when the camera rolls, it's not about taste. It's about temptation. Food stopped being food and started being fantasy. A visual promise no restaurant could ever truly deliver. And yet, the magic worked. Because once we saw that perfect burger on TV, we had to know what it tasted like. Even if deep down, we already knew. It wouldn't look like the picture. All right, let's talk about the real magic tricks behind your favorite commercials. Because once you see how the sausage, literally, gets styled, you'll never look at a Big Mac the same way again. 1. The ice cream conspiracy. That perfect scoop of ice cream you see on screen? Yeah, that's not ice cream. It's a mix of mashed potatoes, shortening, corn syrup, and food coloring. Basically, a science project wearing sprinkles. Why? Because real ice cream melts faster than a snowflake on a frying pan under studio lights. 2. Cereal and glue. Milk looks great on camera for about 12 seconds, so stylists replace it with white glue, which keeps the cereal crisp and photogenic. Fun fact, those milk splashes you see in slow motion, they're often created by literally throwing glue at a bowl. 3. The burger blueprint. Every fast food burger is built like a Jenga tower. Toothpicks hold the layers. Cardboard spacers keep the bun from squishing. The cheese is heated just enough with a heat gun to drip seductively. Each sesame seed is hand-placed with tweezers, because seed symmetry is apparently a thing. 4. Steam and shine. That fresh out of the oven steam usually comes from microwave tampons soaked in water. Yes, you read that right. Stylists hide them behind food to get perfect wisps of vapor on cue. And that glossy shine on chicken or steak? That's motor oil, baby. Vegetable oil dries up, but 10W30 stays glistening forever. Food stylists aren't lying. They're storytelling. Their job isn't to make the food taste good, it's to make you imagine how good it could taste. They don't sell meals, they sell cravings. And the real magic? Your brain falls for it every single time. Okay, so now we know food ads are about 10% cooking and 90% witchcraft. But here's the real question. Why do we keep falling for it? Even though we know those burgers are fake. Our brains still light up like a Vegas slot machine every time we see melted cheese in slow motion. It's because food advertising isn't targeting your taste buds. It's targeting your reward system. When you see those perfect visuals, golden fries, sizzling bacon, glossy chocolate, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that fires when you see something exciting or desirable. You don't even have to taste it. The idea of taste is enough. Psychologists call this anticipatory pleasure. Your body prepares for the reward before you even take a bite. That's why ads always show the moment before someone eats. The cheese pull, the slow pour, the face. They're triggering imagination, not digestion. And that's the trick. Our brains fill in the gaps. We don't notice the glue or motor oil. We imagine the warmth, the salt, the crunch, all based on memory. Food ads don't need to be real because we subconsciously complete the illusion for them. The same reason we crave what we see on screen is the same reason we fall for Instagram food photos. The dopamine rush of potential satisfaction. You're not just hungry, you're hopeful. And that's what makes it so powerful. Because even when reality disappoints, your brain remembers the fantasy and keeps chasing the next perfect bite. So at this point, you might be wondering, how is any of this legal? Like, if my burger shows up looking like it got sat on by a forklift, shouldn't that count as false advertising? Well, technically no. See, U.S. advertising law has a very specific loophole. As long as the ad isn't materially misleading, meaning it represents the product in general, companies can use as much lighting, paint, and photo magic as they want. Basically, your burger doesn't have to look exactly like the photo. It just has to be recognizably a burger. The Federal Trade Commission has even said that visual enhancement is fine as long as the food shown exists in some form. So if McDonald's uses a picture of a hand-stacked Big Mac, that was built by a stylist with tweezers. It's legal because technically that Big Mac could be made. It's like Photoshop for dinner. Of course, every few years, someone sues over deceptive food imagery. Burger King, Wendy's, and Taco Bell have all been hit with lawsuits, from customers claiming their meals looked way smaller or sloppier than advertised. But here's the kicker. Most of those cases get dismissed. Why? Because the court basically says, it's common sense that ads make things look better. Translation, you should have known you were being catfished. So yeah, the law is on the marketer's side. As long as it's edible, it's fair game. And the companies know it. That's why they can keep selling fantasy. Because legally, the fine print says you ordered it. But lately, something's changing. People are starting to get tired of the food catfish. We've been burned too many times. Literally and metaphorically. And now, brands are realizing that honesty sells just as well as fantasy. Social media flipped the script. Instead of studio lighting and perfect burgers, TikTok and YouTube gave us unfiltered food. Melting cheese, uneven crusts, and fries that look real. That raw, authentic style became its own aesthetic. People actually trust a messy burger more than a perfect one. That's why chains like Wendy's or Chipotle lean into humor and realism. They know showing imperfection builds connection. Even high-end brands are joining the honest food movement, shooting real meals under real lighting, eaten by real humans. Okay, maybe still using a ring light, but it's progress. Because in the age of filters and fakery, what people crave most isn't perfection. It's proof. We want to believe the food we see on screen. It's the same food we'll unwrap in the drive-thru. It's not about fantasy anymore. It's about trusting the bite. So yeah, food in ads looks better than in real life. Always has. Probably always will. Because those commercials aren't really selling you a burger. They're selling you a dream. The dream of the perfect bite, where the cheese stretches, the fries stay crisp, and nothing ever gets soggy. But here's the truth. Food doesn't need to be perfect to be good. Sometimes the bun's crooked, the sauce leaks out the side, and that's what makes it real. We fall for the fantasy because it feeds something deeper. The hope that life could look that beautiful, even for a second. But the real magic? It's when the food's messy, hot, and actually tastes like something. So next time your burger looks like a crime scene, cut it some slack. At least it's honest. And hey, if this video satisfied your curiosity, hit subscribe. It's the only click that never disappoints.